Hello and welcome back to Pics and Portraits. Happy 2019. If things sound a little different, that is thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/picsandportraits. With their generous support, I was able to buy this new mic setup, and if you enjoy what we do and would like to help and see us grow, maybe consider becoming a patron, where for just $5 a month, you can get everything we publish, as well as access to exclusive videos. So thank you to them, and on with this video. Today, we're breaking format. Normally we look at the more cartoony aspect of animation and the historical context surrounding that. This video is going to be a little different, a little more laid back, at least I hope so. Looking at something that is far from laid back, the work of experimental animator Janie Geiser. We are going to be going through and looking at a few of her films, but before that I want to give just a little bit of background on the artist. Geiser was born in Baton Rouge in 1957. Though her education was in visual arts, she developed an interest in puppetry while working as a curator at the Center of Puppetry Arts in Atlanta. In the mid-1980s, she moved to New York, founding Janie Geiser & Co. This was an art collective focusing on experimental theater, and began producing films in the early 90s. Since then, she's created a lot of very interesting and immersive art, incorporating aspects of stop motion, puppetry, projection, and performance. She is also the co-founder of LA's Automata, a center committed to experimental performance and puppetry presented in an intimate and engaging setting. While she is a multidisciplinary artist, we are going to be looking specifically at her film output. These films are probably best filed under sound and video collages. They often use pacing and texture to stimulate sensations in the viewer while conveying a story or meaning abstractly. What drew me to Geiser's work was her use of found media as well as objects from the past. Now, these include books, photographs, dolls. A lot of the characters in her films are dolls, and I love the way that she repurposes them and allows their history, meaning if they are decaying or if they're from the 1930s, to inform character and the setting of her films. I love that her films are so abstract, or her work is so abstract, that it lets us assign our own significance to these little details, and I think it makes for a very enjoyable and rewarding experience. The first film we are going to be looking at is 1999's Lost Motion. Shot on 16mm, Lost Motion tells the story of a man searching with die-cast toys and dioramas. One of the first things I noticed about Geiser is that she creates the worlds her films take place in. Each are very different, with their own sets of rules as to what constitutes space and time. We're brought into this sensory experience where nothing is explicitly said, but instead felt. These are vintage toys. There's a sense of nostalgia, or I guess old-timiness, allusions to a particular time, in this case definitely the 1940s. There are heavy film noir vibes, though in a way it feels, I guess, chronologically ambiguous. I don't know. It feels very much like someone's dream or memory of that period, rather than a narrative in that period. This is my favorite aspect of Geiser's work. Next we have Arbor from 2012. The cast of this film are a set of photographs that were found by Geiser in a second-hand store. Looking through candid photographs is one of my favorite things to do, especially if I have no emotional attachment to the subjects. That way I can impart and suppose the lives they led on my own, making up their memories and their backstories. Arbor taps into this idea. It plays with memory, presenting these people as familiar but fading, seemingly aware we're most likely staring at ghosts. I love how they appear altered or obstructed and then disappear, as if you're starting to remember or misremembering, I don't know, a neighbor or old family friends. It's a really interesting sensation. The third and final film we're going to be looking at is The Fourth Watch. This was produced in 2000 and is named after the time right before dawn, according to the ancient Greeks. It features silent film actors superimposed on rooms in a tin dollhouse. They appear as apparitions, floating through the empty rooms with an eerie glow. This look was accomplished by shooting the silent films on a video camera and then projecting that image, giving it an illuminating static texture. This is absolutely haunting and probably my favorite of Geiser's films. Now these are just some highlights, but Janie Geiser has created a huge body of work. I think fans of David Lynch would love these films and encourage anybody with an interest in animation to check them out. I will post links to relevant material and her website in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and again, support us on Patreon. We have a lot of exciting things planned for this year, and you can help facilitate this and get a lot back in return. I'm Brian Clark. Thank you so much for watching.